G'day and welcome to Snap Happy, the photography show. I'm Jason Edwards.
And I'm Maddie Sloane. Jace, what has been happening?
Well, I've been travelling around Australia shooting some fantastic locations. I've had some brand new gear from Panasonic and Fujifilm, and I've been putting it through its paces in the field. What about you, Mads?
Well, I have been interviewing and meeting some fascinating photographers. One in particular, Ray Martin, who took this photo right here while travelling in Cambodia with his late friend Fred Hollows. So Jace, what is happening this week?
I'll be heading to Taronga Zoo to photograph the chimpanzees, which is always a fascinating exercise.
All this and more in today's episode of Snap Happy, the photography show. Ray Martin is a name that is synonymous with Australian journalism. Over the past 5 decades, he has covered some of the most significant events in history and has been awarded the Gold Logie on 5 occasions. But throughout his career, he's also been a passionate and skilled photographer.
Hello Maddie, it's Ray. Come on in, please.
Well, let's go meet him. What do you say to a man that has been on the forefront of journalism for so many years? A man that has interviewed every major celebrity, politician and person of note since, well, before I was even born. So Ray, let's cut to the chase. Okay. You're not commonly known for photography, but obviously looking around here, it is a passion of yours. How did you incorporate it with your actual career?
Yeah, it's an obsession now. I probably, I've made my living out of being a writer and out of being a journalist. I think I like taking photographs more than I like writing, even though I love writing. I've done it all my life. I've done it all my working life, so for 40 odd years, 40 plus years. But I used to be almost a closet photographer. I was, producers and cameramen would say, put the bloody camera down, because I always seem to have the camera instead of a notebook. But I love it, and if I go without shooting for 3 days, I have withdrawal symptoms. I have to take the camera, go shoot the garden. Yeah. So that's obsessive.
So Ray, you've recently just published your own photography book.
Yeah.
How on earth did you pick what photos went in?
I've got about 50,000, maybe 60 or 70,000 now, but I had then about 50,000. Ken Duncan, who's a good friend and who's one of the great Australian photographers, he said to me, the advice is let someone else, select the ones you really think should be there and let someone else make the other choice, like your wife or someone who knows what they're talking about. And because you get attached, a bit like children, you get attached to photographs. Sometimes they're not amongst your best, but for whatever reason, the story around the photograph. You have a connection to them, of course. Yeah, and so in that sense, I changed them the last week before I reached the deadline, and if I had to do the book today, I would do probably half of them would be different photographs. Oh really?
Were you happy with everything that went in the book?
Not really, no. I think so much of this is about the story behind the photograph.
Yes.
It's not just, that photograph, the old lady up here, is not just, it's not the photograph, it's okay, but it's not a great photograph, but it's the story of what we did there and what got to it.
It's the emotion behind it and what happened.
I'm a feral photographer. I mean, I take photographs of everything. You've got to acknowledge these things you can do, and I have a good eye, and I see things and I go whack. And that's why I kind of like the bridge camera. So I don't have to reach for lenses to change lenses anymore. I just get, and I go zip, and I zoom in on something that I want. And I tend to be, a shooter of tight photographs. I like tight shots. So that suits me, and it's lazy in a sense that you don't have to, take 5 steps forward and frame a photo of a portrait of someone. You can sort of sit there and just zoom in it. And if you've got a good lens, and I do have good lenses, then I think you can compensate.
Yeah, you and Ken are quite good friends, and you've just recently done a documentary together. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Ken Duncan is a brilliant photographer. I mean, I think he's the best landscape photographer in Australia, and he's also a great teacher. Yeah. And so the idea of this was that I would go on a trip to the Kimberley where I hadn't been before, and we went on the True North boat, and the idea was master and pupil. And so he was the master and I'm very much the pupil. And so we went to the most amazing places in Australia. And the camera crew had to work, they were using a range of cameras, but they used drones that I've not seen them use before. Yeah, and they were launching drones from little tinnies and catching them on the tinnies in the middle of these crocodile-infested waters and so on. So it was great fun to do, and the waterfalls and the country is beautiful. Is just exquisite.
So walking up the staircase, there is just photos everywhere. It's just overwhelming.
Sorry about that.
No, it's great. Do you have any favourites?
You see, these are all done from 35,000 feet out the window of a plane. And all this incredible, this is somewhere over the Northern Territory. It's hard to believe that Aboriginal people paint those, and they didn't do it from 35,000 feet, did they? How do they know what it looks like? This beautiful river system we've got.
Gorgeous, hey?
Yeah. And through the thick glass window of a plane, and I look down the way, and people are at the window and they've got the blind down and they're watching some dodgy film. And this is brilliant. This is Australia. This is fantastic. I just keep saying, have a look.
This is my favourite shot.
Oh, thank you.
It's in the back of your book.
Well, she was an old lady, probably early 80s, and it was in Nepal, Western Nepal, the poorest part of the poorest country. And she had come in to have her eyes fixed. She had cataracts. And she thought, oh, this is going to be blind forever. She thought going blind was part of being old. And they fixed both those eyes. She hadn't seen for about 16 years, and they fixed both the eyes in about 15 minutes each eye, which is a miracle. Yeah. So to see the smile on her face was bigger than Queensland. To see the smile, beautiful. Incredible. And have a look at the face. The face has got a few stories in it.
Yes.
I do cull, by the way. I find with the computer that I cull if I say, would I print this? No, get rid of it. Would I print this? No, get rid of it. And that's what I've done. This is my den. You know, my wife thinks it's a terrible mess.
She just sends you up here.
Yeah, but I go on a trip when I come up here. It's like taking a drug. And this is my this is where I can sort of close the door and turn the music on and look at photos.
Before I was a photographer with National Geographic, I was a zookeeper at Melbourne Zoo. It was my time there that fueled my passion for nature photography. Today I'm at Sydney's Taronga Zoo, who are celebrating their 100th anniversary. Let's go and take some images. I've met up with chimp keeper, Katie Hooker. So Katie, how long have you been working with the chimps at Taronga Zoo?
I've been working with the chimps here at Taronga for 7 years now.
What are some of the threats facing chimps in the wild?
Habitat destruction is a big one for these guys. Poaching for the bushmeat trade is also having a huge impact on them. And more recently, they're facing a threat from mining for a special metal called coltan. About 80% of the world's coltan comes from Africa in areas of chimpanzee habitat, so it's having a huge impact on them.
Wow. So what should we expect to see this morning?
So the keepers are just setting up their exhibit at the moment. The chimps are locked away safe in their night house. They're then going to let all the chimps out, so we'll see them running around to get their food. We'll also see we've got 3 little infants, and so they're always cute. They're always playing and carrying on.
This is a great time to see family behaviour, but also to get those sorts of shots that are difficult to get at other times of the day when the chimps might be resting. So I'm focusing on things like feeding strategies. They're going around searching for different types of food, and then how they eat that food, whether it's cracking coconuts open or using branches to go inside a termite mound, eating harder vegetables like carrots, and looking for shots of hands and faces and knuckles in particular. Chimps have these amazing hands and the skin is tough and leathery. It makes for a great photograph if you can get close enough. When you're photographing dark animals like chimpanzees, the metering system in your camera can often be full. This morning the chimpanzees are sitting in the shade, so I'm underexposing my images by about 2 stops, and that corrects for the error that the camera's going to make. So Katie, does Taronga work with chimpanzees in the wild?
We do. We have a conservation partnership with a chimpanzee sanctuary in the Republic of Congo, and it's called the Chimpunga Chimpanzee Rehabilitation Centre.
Have you had the opportunity to work there yourself?
I have. I was lucky enough to go over and spend 2 months working with a little orphan chimp who had been caught in a snare, and he'd actually got tetanus from the snare. And now he's living in the forest on an island where he's protected.
That must be like coming full circle for you as a keeper.
It is. It's the best part of the job, I think.
One of the most popular exhibits at Taronga Zoo is the giraffes. I love photographing giraffes. They're absolutely magnificent. When you see them moving across the savannah in a great herd, it's not hard to imagine what dinosaurs must have looked like. The giraffes at Taronga Zoo have the best real estate of any giraffes in the world. They have this magnificent view of the city. So what I'm going to try and do is show the giraffes in isolation of the city, but also with the city in the background. Firstly, I set my f-stop at f5.6, and that gives me a very shallow depth of field. Then I've altered the f-stop to f25, and that gives me a greater depth of field. In the first images, there is no background or no real background to the scene, but in the second images, I can see the buildings quite clearly behind the giraffe's head. Giraffes are fantastic to dissect with your lens. Look for all the unusual parts of the animal. The fantastic skin patterns, the long eyelashes, the horns. There are so many images to be captured. No trip to Taronga is complete without visiting the ever so playful meerkats. Meerkats are an absolute crack-up. They're always doing something, fighting, playing, digging, hunting for food. In the wild, they'll put a sentry up to look for birds of prey. And that's what we can see here. There's always a meerkat looking to the sky. Although here at Taronga Zoo, it's basically planes flying overhead that are getting their attention. One of the problems with photographing through glass is, of course, reflections. If you're planning to do that kind of photography, try and wear a dark shirt so that you show up less in the glass. And also try and create a cone of darkness against the glass by using a lens hood. This one's fixed, it's solid, but rubber ones are better for the cause because you can get a tighter seal. When animals are very active, you need to use a faster shutter speed. When the meerkats were just playing, my shutter was at least 1/1000th of a second to try and freeze the action. Backlighting is when the sun is on the opposite side of the object to you. Look at these meerkats. You can see that the sun is illuminating their fur, so I need to expose for that. Now there's two ways to do it. You can underexpose or you can overexpose. I prefer to underexpose my shots because it darkens the foreground but still highlights the sun shining through the fur. If you're looking for a pet project, why not come to the zoo for the day and sit at the meerkats? You could document their antics and their behaviour. It'd make a great story. But keep in mind, you're not the only visitor here. So let other people take their photographs as well. Happy shooting.
Hello, I'm Ray Martin. I've been a journalist for 50 plus years now, but I've also been a frustrated photographer, a sort of a feral photographer, if you like. I can't stop. So here's my kit. To be honest, this is my camera of choice, which is a Lumix FZ1000, which has a range from 24 to 400 millimeters, and so it's sort of 10 lenses in one. But if I'm sort of seriously after something, I usually take a Lumix GX8 on this big mother of a lens here. That is an 800mm lens that is just a new Leica lens they've brought out. And it's got an anti-shake movement on the lens and in the camera, which gives you about 4 stops and an anti-shake, so you can actually hand hold an 800 lens. In the rest of my kit though, I've got a wide angle, which is really nice. Again, a Leica, which is from 14 to 28, which again is a great all-round lens. This one here comes with a G series, which is a 24 to 70. This is 70 to 200, again 2.8, which is again a lovely lens. That fits on all the GX cameras. I've got an old lens here which is not as fast as those, but it goes from 90 to 400, and in that long, when you think 400 lens for that long, my old Canon used to be that long, and so it's a wonderful, and it just sort of fits in my hand. It's one of those things that I really love. I tend to carry it by that, and then this gorgeous Leica lens that they've just brought out a year or so back, and it's a 1.2. 85, so it's a gorgeous portrait lens again, and feels like a Leica, feels like an old-fashioned piece of glass. So that's the kit. But as I say, out of preference, if I've just come back from an assignment in the Pilbara, and I thought, well, I'd take the big kit. I thought, no, I'm getting up and down. I'm abseiling for the first time and canyoning, so I thought I'll take something light. And the assignment was to shoot it on just this bridge camera. And so, as I say, it goes 24 to 400, and it's quite fast. And so I took that with me, but I just took the GX8 in case I drop this in the water. I'm Ray Martin, and that's my kit.
I'm in the process of renovating my apartment, and at the moment, the walls are looking pretty bare. I desperately need some prints to decorate them. So I'm gonna order some off the Snapfish website, and I'm gonna show you guys just how easy it is. Simply go to snapfish.com.au, create an account and log in. The next step is to upload the photos that you would like to print and click on Add Photos. You can upload any photos off your hard drive, but here's a feature that I love. You can link your Facebook, Instagram and Flickr accounts to access any of your photos from there too. Once you've uploaded your photos, it's time to select a product. There are so many options to choose from. You can print on canvas, make posters, cards and calendars. You can even create photo gifts like key rings, mugs, stubby coolers and snow globes. I need to decorate my walls, so I've selected canvas from the top menu. There are a variety of sizes to choose from, so pick what will work best with your space. Next, select what photos you'd like to add to your project. Here is where you can let your creative juices flow and have some fun. You can choose to print your photo as is, or you can customize your image by selecting different layouts, backgrounds, embellishments, or custom text. Once you're happy with what you've created, select Review and Buy. It's looking awesome, so I'm going to add it to the cart. Checkout is very straightforward with either PayPal or credit card payment options. Keep in mind that there's also a very handy Snapfish app that allows you to order prints directly from your smartphone. Well, there you have it. Snapfish offers simple and creative ways to make personalised products to decorate your home. Why not create a personalised gift for a friend or family member? It'll be a gift that they cherish for years to come.
The first thing that I do on an image is the black and white point. That's where I set where the black starts and where the white starts for every single image. If you've exposed your image correctly, it takes care of about 90% of your post-production in a matter of seconds. I've got an image of red leshwi from Botswana on the screen, and I'm working in Lightroom, and all I do is I hold down the Option key and I click on the black slider, and instantly it shows me where my black point starts. So I slide the slider until the black pixels appear, and then I let everything go. I then hold the Option key and I slide the white slider until I see the white pixels appear. And that's my black and white point done. Setting the black and white point maximizes the dynamic and tonal range of your image. It's a simple trick. As long as you don't go too far, you're not losing data. The Fujifilm X-T2 is the latest premium interchangeable lens camera introduced to the award-winning X series range. I'm going to take this camera on the road, put it through its paces and see what it's got. The first thing that has grabbed my attention about this camera is that it is so compact and fun. It has the look and feel of an SLR camera, however it is mirrorless, so the body and lenses are much smaller and lighter. Some photographers will tell you that the secret to street photography success is making yourself invisible. One of the great things about the Fuji X-T2 is its small size. It's very inconspicuous. Sometimes when I shoot, I'll fold out the rear screen and use it in this position. That way people don't really know I'm photographing. The last thing I need in the field is unreliable camera equipment. I need my gear to be able to handle tough conditions. Now the Fuji X-T2, it's dust sealed, waterproof, and also has a functioning temperature of -10, which is fantastic. It's a great camera for shooting in these sorts of conditions because you know it's not going to shut down as soon as it gets a little bit cold. When it comes to testing a new camera, the proof really is in the pudding. If the images don't stand up, then any amount of special features are just lipstick on a pig. I've just uploaded the penguin photos from today's shoot. Now what I'm looking for is some great colour rendition, great colour separation, the differences between the colours, sharp feathers, and the right kind of depth of field, and that's what I'm seeing in these files. They're wonderful. Nothing's blown out and the shadows aren't all blocky, so there's lots of detail in the shadows. It's really exciting. The image quality is really quite impressive. It's actually better than many DSLRs. The thing that really excites me about this equipment is that when I zoom in, especially on the feather details, there is so much there. The images are super sharp and the detail is exquisite. I've only had this camera in my hand for a few weeks, and I have to say, I'm very impressed. It's professional yet fun, compact, weather resistant, and its imagery is superb. I'm definitely going to keep the Fujifilm X-T2 in my arsenal. It's a fantastic bit of kit.
So Ray,
Come.
On Snap Happy, we like to ask our guests a tip that we can use in our own photography. What do you have for us today?
A couple of quick ones. One is always dress your subjects in bright colours. If it's the kids or the family, bright colours. The other one is golden light.
Yep.
Early morning, late afternoon. It's a cliche, but it's beautiful, flattering light. But then the final one is practice. Practice makes perfect. Like golf or like tennis or like anything else, that I find that I've got much better over the last couple of years since I became obsessive about cameras. But keep practicing, then practice, and when you've done enough, practice some more. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ray. We'll see you soon on Snap Happy. Jace, those meerkats were seriously cute.
They were, and their characters make them great subjects to photograph.
Now, Jace, we always speak about the importance of bringing our photos to life and getting them printed. So each week, we're going to feature a different product from the Snapfish range.
What are we looking at this week, Matt?
We're looking at prints. Now, Snapfish offer a variety of sizes in a matte or glossy finish. They do posters too, which are great for kids' rooms, but my favourite, the framed prints.
Wow, they look great. Quite a classic and elegant design. And the quality is really good, but what about the price?
For the quality, surprisingly affordable. Now, I have ordered a range of these products to decorate my apartment with, and later in the series, James Treble is going to help me out.
Fantastic, can't wait to see it.
If you want to join the Snap Happy community, head on over to our website at snaphappytv.com. There you will find exclusive content, competitions and special offers from our partners.
See you next week on Snap Happy, the photography show. One of the great things about the Fuji X-T2 is its small size. It's very inconspicuous. Sometimes when I shoot, I'll fold out the rear screen and use it in this position. That way people don't really know I'm photographing them, which sounds really creepy.